This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good evening. We're having some technical. I guess we're not broadcasting to the huddle right now, so let me do an edit here real quick. Good evening. It's Woody. It's Ken. It's Halas Hall Report, and let me fix this on the huddle here.
Should be the goddamn Woody and Ken show.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I think we should be on the huddle. Let me double check here. Someone else might have been trying to go. No, it's not letting me. It's not letting me stream to the huddle. Hey, good evening, and hey, Ken from the morning show.
Perfect timing. I'll hop over to the huddle for you.
Jeez.
Well, no. I'm looking at the Fire Stick right now because you can see the little up. Look at the upper right. So technical aspect here, but anyways, yeah, we are. The show's been hit hard. Everyone's like in the hospital for some reason on this show. Woody and I are the only two that are somewhat healthy. Everyone else is having medical issues. I said somewhat, Woody, not that you were.
I had an infected finger yesterday. I just took a knife, like a Crocodile D fucking knife, popped that bitch open and got it out. Now my finger feels a lot better. I'd be in the hospital as well.
Okay, so now we're on properly. Okay, so someone else was okay. So now we should be everywhere we need to be. Sorry about the technical hiccup. And Woody's going to lose a finger next, so he'll be in the hospital next week. So it'll just be me and Ken doing the morning show, I guess. We'll have a Packers fan on the house hall. But, it's fitting that Ken is here because, Woody, I don't know if you've heard the news yet. On Ken and Ken in the morning, on Monday morning, we are having a former Bear join us. The guy whose helmet you see every single show we do. Desmond Clark will be on the Ken and Ken in the morning show Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central. So it's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central, 11 to noon for you Eastern Standard Times, folks. And we'll be talking mostly about life after the NFL. So that's going to be happening Monday morning on Ken and Ken. We'll have a former Bear on. So excited about that. And I'm sure, it's funny because I think he came in the league right around the same time Mercedes Lewis, who we just signed to an extension, right?
A year, yeah.
So another year.
That's his interview for being tight ends coach next year.
I was going to say that's pretty much all he is right now is an extra lineman and a tight ends coach. Every once in a while he'll slip out and catch a pass, but
which is brilliant though when you think about it, because no one expects Mercedes Lewis to catch anything. And we saw like last year, he had maybe 5 receptions, 2 of which were for touchdowns. They're like, well, you just threw the ball to Mercedes Lewis, but people forget this dude was a ball receiver early in his career, and then he was smart. He said, "Well, I can stay in this league longer if I'm blocking and not just catching," and that's what he's made it. 40 years old, going to turn 41 this season. I mean,
maybe that's what Claypool was thinking last year.
No, but Claypool wasn't blocking either.
Yeah,
he was like, maybe if I just stand on the field, I can prolong my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it seems to be people keep giving him opportunities.
Yeah, well, none of these guys are at Mark Pryor territory yet. Look at the best 2 contracts ever in sport are both from baseball. The best one, of course, is Bobby Bonilla, who I believe is still getting paid by the Mets, and he hasn't played in well over a decade.
Yep.
So that's the best contract ever. And then Mark Pryor, after the 2003 season, he breaks out. 2004 gets an injury with the Cubs. And for the next 10 years, it made an average of $1 million a year to rehab his shoulder, right? and he never pitched in the majors again. He just rehabbed for 10 years, sucking down $1 million a year contract. I mean, so maybe Chase Claypool is trying to do that, be the football version of that. I don't know, but
I wonder if how he'd be if he goes back to Pittsburgh. See how he'd play.
Yeah, I really don't see him getting along with Russell Wilson.
No, but he gets along with Justin though.
Russell Wilson will be on the bench, so Justin Fields can play 51% of the time.
Yeah, and he gets along with Justin.
Hey, does it still count if he plays running back and not quarterback?
No, it doesn't. Gotta be quarterback.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, we had that discussion.
Here we go.
Because we were thinking about that when all the rumors about the kickoff rule about maybe Justin might return and that doesn't help us. So no. Russell needs to
get benched.
Be Russ and get benched. So we've got look at it. I don't think Russ will make it to week 6. So we have a good chance of getting 51% of the snaps here. We really do.
I don't know. They just extended Tomlin too.
Yeah, they just extended Tomlin, so that was good for them. I mean, they've had they've had coaches like Green Bay's had quarterbacks, like 2 of them over the last 30, 40 years. I mean,
have you guys seen the meme going around of when Mike Tomlin first signed his deal versus now? He looks like he's like 14 comparatively.
Well, yeah, he was the youngest coach in the NFL when he signed.
Yep.
So, it's kind of like when people become president, they have like blonde hair or black hair, and 3 years later when they're running for re-election, they're totally gray. They've got like 8,000 more wrinkles than they had before. Like, look at Obama when he won.
Oh, yeah.
And look at Obama when he got out of office. It was, I get it, it's 8 years, but that dude aged like 40 years.
I was going to say, when you got all that stress of, I got to be the guy that's keeping this whole country alive.
Same thing.
Yep.
He aged tremendously, but, this Bears team's going to age pretty quickly this year, Woody, because, we had the Hall of Fame game. That was going to be on TV, but the NFL, in their infinite wisdom, they say, and I quote, they want to highlight the rookie quarterback this year.
Oh, my God, dude. Fuck.
Every single one of our preseason games is going to be aired on I wouldn't call it national television because NFL Network, not everyone has. But every single game is going to be live on air on NFL Network. But don't worry, if you don't have NFL Network, we got you covered on the subscription side of our page. Just saying, we got you back. So go ahead, sign up for the subscription side of Mike the Bear Fan. Every single game, plus Hard Knocks, right? So, I mean, this team is going to have more coverage coming into a season than any team, I swear, in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, they're going to highlight Bajent. I can't wait. Hopefully he does good being the starting quarterback.
There you go.
Wait. You know what? I'm just every other fucking day I see shit about Caleb Williams. Oh my God, he's doing this with the receivers. He's doing this with the coaches. He's doing all this shit. Dude, we won't know week 1. And even week 1, Ken, we'd agree that's still preseason.
Right.
So I want to see how he
first 3 weeks of preseason.
Yeah, I want to see how he is after fucking week 6. And he says, okay, we're benching Chia Pet and putting Bateman in.
You know what's funny though, Woody? Because Ken can tell you this on the morning show, and we were talking about oh my God, all the preseason games. Like, well, you're going to see a lot of Tyson Bajent, and they're like, what do you mean? You're going to talk about Caleb? I'm like, dude, he's the starter. Since when has a starter played more than maybe a series in week 1, and in week 2 maybe a series?
I was going to say a lot of the times we have seen when you got a new quarterback coming in, they will play them more in the preseason.
Justin got played a lot in the preseason because he wasn't going to be the starter. But if the rookie is going to be the starter, like Richardson didn't play much in the preseason last year, for example. Stroud did not play a lot in the preseason last year.
Joe Burrow was a rookie. They played him pretty much in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think he's going to play much, though. I think we'll see a heavy dose of Tyson Bajent.
I don't want to fucking see that Chia Pet anyway. I'm just tired of it, man. It's like you know, it's all the hype is what. Remember when Jamarcus Russell came in the league? Oh my God, he's going to be the best. Ryan Leaf, oh, he's phenomenal. And look, they fucking suck. So how do we know?
Well, what about Rosen? The guy, remember, he was the number 1 pick in Arizona, and the very next year he was replaced by the next number 1 pick.
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hit rate on the number one overall is a lot higher than quarterbacks in general. So
you go from 30 to 70%.
No, the hit rate's 40% on first round, 70% on number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, your odds almost flip.
Well,
But I like what Caleb did with the fan with the jersey debacle. We talked about on the morning show. You know, a fan on draft night ordered his Caleb Williams jersey from Fanatics on draft night. Fanatics sends him a letter talking about, yeah, it'll be late September. And the fan is like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot over, and he takes the X and blasts Fanatics. And Fanatics, to their credit, because it does work, I know from personal experience about blasting companies. I have an X account that I never use. I use it to blast companies when something goes wrong, and it works every time. So he blasts Fanatics. Fanatics reaches out to him. The guy reaches out to say, I'm actually even a Bears fan. So I'm excited as you are. So here's what I'm going to do. He sent him a framed 8x10 of Walter Payton, right? Some running back pose or whatever, some action pose, in the game. Then he sends him an 8x10 of Ditka with a facsimile Super Bowl 20, ticket in it. Okay. And then like a Bears travel mug. So for Fanatics, literally trinkets, right? For you and I, those are like $50 a piece. The travel mug's $35. For them, it's a cost of $3.42, right? And
Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way that they just write the shit off.
Oh, they will. They write it off.
I wish I would have did that because I ordered the New Jersey Devils sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt, Stadium Series sweatshirt.
And it came after?
Yeah, they played the fucking Fly Girls and smashed their asses anyway. But they said, I keep, how you keep tracking and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, where the hell is it? He's like, oh, we're behind. You won't get it for another 3 months. Cancel the fucking order, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so the guy from Fanatics, he sends him this stuff and then says, we'll get you moved up. Well, Caleb Williams somehow gets wind of this. He sends the guy a video message, DMs him on X, sends him a message, says, hey, I heard you had an issue with your jersey. I'm going to talk to Fanatics. We're going to get you moved to the front of the line, and then we're going to bring you to the game as our guest. I was like, okay, that was freaking cool. Okay. Because it's not like, it's just some random guy on Twitter complaining about Fanatics, and someone somewhere brought the Caleb's, or maybe Caleb just came across it and did what he did. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I did that with a certain airline when I was leaving Denver, and they canceled our flight, and then they didn't even tell us for another hour and a half that we were canceled, so that we all missed all the other flights and all the other airlines to get out of Denver. And so Jason. I said, what's up, Jason? So I got on their Twitter and I complained, and they ended up giving my wife and I each $175 credit, which basically next time I go to Denver, we're flying round trip for free. So I was like, all right, cool. But it works when you complain on X and you tag these companies, they will respond. But I thought what Caleb did, though, was just, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to, send this guy a video message and then, oh, by the way, I'm going to give you game tickets too. Which,
that's going to suck for him because Caleb Williams gave him tickets. He's going there. He's going to see Tyson play. That's phenomenal.
So,
douchebag.
Where you go? Hey, so hey Woody, I'm gonna go to a topic that's gonna make you smile. Two teams that you love, two teams that you absolutely love, are going to be tortured to no end. The Sheagles and the Fudge Packers. I mean, Gay Bay. I mean, Green Bay. Whatever you call them.
Down and take it and shut up.
Anyways, they're going to play in Brazil. So first things first, both teams are going to be on lockdown because they know there are going to be so many paternity suits. They're not going to let these guys out of the hotel. Okay, I mean, this is Green Bay and Philly we're talking about. They're not letting them out of the hotel because they're afraid of all the paternity suits. Secondly, because the stadium they're playing in, the color green is forbidden. They are not allowed to wear green at all. So here's the thing that gets even better. They can't even wear their away jerseys because their away jerseys has green. they're having to go back like these 1932 throwbacks.
Yeah.
They're the
An
ugliest
official
things
came out
ever
from the-
invented.
Yeah,
It's
an official came out from the NFL and said that that's not the case. So we are still way up in the air about what the hell's even going on with this game. I don't even think the NFL really knows.
The Sheagles, when they played Detroit years back on, I think it was in Philly, the snow game. You ever see those Sheagles? They're probably going to wear those because they're ugly as fuck anyway.
That's the same. And the Packers, the alternate that doesn't have green that they've worn is like uglier than sin.
Hey, don't you hate on the Acme Packer colors?
So I mean, but look at the only team that's probably worse than that is maybe the Steelers with that Bumblebee one they got.
Oh yeah, that Bumblebee one was terrible.
But it's basically almost a version of the Bumblebee, but Green Bay. And I think it'll be hilarious if the first game they have in Brazil, these two teams, your favorite teams, Woody, have to wear the most butt ugly jerseys ever invented in the NFL. I mean, how fitting is that?
You know, those Acme Packer jerseys sold pretty damn well, so not everybody thinks they're ugly.
And Brazil probably want those fucking teams back anyway.
Well, no, because there's a reason why.
Green Bay's got a giant fan base in Brazil.
But now we know why. It's not because they like the Packers. It's because their team colors are representative of one of the gangs. Hence why green can't be worn in that stadium. So everyone there, the one gang, they wear all Packers gear. That's like how they identify, right? So because of the Packers green, and that's why they sell so much Packer gear. There's for the gangbangers. So I mean, it kind of figures that Green Bay would be associated with a bunch of street thugs and gangbangers. I mean, it just kind of makes sense, doesn't it, Woody?
Not in any way, shape, or form. Talk about a massive reach. Don't dislocate your shoulder on that one.
You know what would be really fucked up, right? The teams can't wear their jerseys, but the fans can.
Yeah. No, they'll be turned away at the gate. You're not allowed to wear anything green in that stadium.
Wow.
You know,
that's the president probably. Is Biden over there?
He's building back football better in Sao Paulo. Here's my question, though, and I talked about this on Prim and Proper with Sonia on Tuesday because she asked me about this. I said, well, I said, Woody, I mentioned, I said, well, Woody will be happy that they're going to have to wear butt ugly jerseys because he hates the Sheagles and Green Bay. But I said, someone in the NFL lost their job because when they decided to put this game in Brazil, first off, why are you going to Sao Paulo and not Rio, where you probably have better facilities in Rio? The World Cup final was there. The Olympics were there. They're probably more set up for it. But then, how do you not know that green is a color that is not allowed to be worn in the stadium due to gang issues in the Sao Paulo area? That would be something that would be, you think, when they're looking at the stadium, say, well, what are stadium requirements? What can you and can't you do here? That would be something that sticks out, that no one can wear green when the two teams you're going to have going down there both wear green. I mean, how does someone not get fired over that?
Oh my God.
You gotta love it. And week one's gonna be such a dumpster fire mess, not for the game itself, but because of all this. All right, what do you got, Ken?
The host stadium it's their rival soccer club that wears the green.
Right.
But the league did not say that the players could not wear green. That is false.
Is this on some Packers website?
No, this is straight from the NFL.
Oh, I thought it was the Sheagles.
Yeah, that could be.
It had nothing to do with games. It was
so what you're saying is
that got picked up and broadcasted around.
So what you're saying then is that the soccer fans of the Rava Club are just getting confused by the Packers stuff on accident.
No, they're purposely getting a winning team.
Oh,
well, but Brazil doesn't know about that. Have you seen their World Cup team the last couple cups? They don't win anymore.
That's why they went to the NFL instead.
Well, but no, real football.
I think I just thought that game is going to be. But I still don't know why you don't go to Sao Paulo. Why do you go to Sao Paulo, not Rio? To me, that would make more sense. I get why they went to Munich in Germany, and then why they went. What's the other? Then went to, was it not Stuttgart? Was it Stuttgart they went to? No, it's Munich because obviously my soccer club is there, and I think the other was it. No, it wasn't Stuttgart, but it was another big city. those cities made sense to me, right? Because Bayern Munich is like one of the biggest soccer cities with the best stadium in the country. They're going to pack the house. You know, it's got a stadium. I mean, if you Allianz Arena is freaking gorgeous, right? It can sit 70,000 fans easy. It's the biggest stadium in Germany. So I got that. With going to London, you know, playing at Tottenham, which was a brand new stadium, I get. To play at Man City Stadium, I also get, right? Because these are big stadiums in London that can hold 70,000. They're used to having big time games there for their respective home teams. It made sense. But Sao Paulo,
Maybe it's the teams they chose. That's it.
maybe it's because lower tier teams get a lower tier.
Right.
That-
Yeah,
It's not the Bears going down there where everybody's got to watch the game like this.
Yeah, but Liverpool, their stadium though, isn't there? I think Liverpool's stadium is a little bit older and a little bit smaller. That's why Liverpool has it. Like Old Trafford, like is old. Like,
we'll see you.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing though. With the European clubs, they see like this other thing with the European clubs. Most of their A-League teams, be it Bundesliga, La Liga, because when they go to Barcelona, they're playing at Barca's home stadium, right? Most of these teams, like Serie A in Italy, they all have these massively huge stadiums that can sit 60, 70,000. The professional leagues in Brazil aren't really. I mean, MLS probably is probably better. Like they're really all their best players go to Europe. I mean, they don't have the stadium capacities for their clubs. Because after they had the Olympics or they had the World Cup, the idea was that the clubs would use these World Cup stadiums. Well, half of them they had shut down because they couldn't put people in them. So they just let them rock. You know, so I mean, I still don't get Sao Paulo. I mean, the European cities, the NFL selected, they've done, every city's been fine. Every stadium's been fine because they're all these big, massive, you know, like you're not going to go to Man U because, you know, Old Trafford's Man U. That stadium's a lot smaller than Man City's. Right? Man City has a much better state-of-the-art, bigger stadium. I get it. But Sao Paulo just doesn't make sense to me. They had World Cup games there. That's the stadium they used during the World Cup. So it's going to be, playing surface is going to be nice. It's a big stadium, but I just don't know why you don't put it in Rio. That just seems like it makes the most sense would be Rio. You know, that's like going to, I'm trying to think of another country you can compare it to, like,
Down
you know,
under.
yeah, like it's like going to Australia and not playing the game in Sydney and playing like in Perth.
The probably is they didn't give the NFL enough of a kickback, so they said, okay, we'll go somewhere else in your country.
Like Mexico, that's why in Mexico we pretty much only play in Mexico City because Azteca is a phenomenally big stadium that's used to big world stage games, World Cup finals. The Mexican national team, that's their home stadium. You know, that's the stadium in Mexico. You don't see them going to play a game in Cancun.
Yeah, because they don't do that. They won't go down there. You can't drink their water.
Well, no, Cancun is a tourist area, so but then with the stadiums, like Azteca is the stadium in Mexico. That's like the revered hallowed halls of Azteca Stadium. But last time I was in Cozumel, one of the guys that, you know, local there worked at, it was the restaurant, the bar we were at. He's like, he won't go to the Mexican national team at Azteca because the cartels are so bad. That's why the NFL hasn't gone back to Mexico City because they can't protect them in Mexico City anymore. But that's also why, but like they could go to you could go to Cancun or Cozumel or Puerto Vallarta because the cartels won't touch those areas. But they don't have the stadium capacity. Yeah, they've got professional teams down there, you know, soccer teams, but the stadium capacities aren't big enough for what the NFL is looking for.
Did you say cartel?
Yeah.
What is this, Sons of Anarchy?
No. Well, yeah, down there in Mexico, sure. It's Son of Anarchy times.
They are better equipped than the police forces down there.
See, but the cartel is smart though.
They had the police force under their belt though.
But you know what though? But look at the NFL put a game in Mexico City. I don't have fear that the cartel would mess with the NFL. You know why?
Because then you get the whole United States military crammed up your ass.
Cartels are smart enough with their violence to know where to stop because they don't want U.S. Special Operations Command to get involved and shutting them down. They don't have to worry about Navy SEALs or Army Rangers or Force Recon or those guys getting into their business. They're fine with the Mexicali guys. They're like, we can handle the Mexican authorities. We don't want U.S. Special Forces knocking in our doors. So they're smart enough to refrain from that kind of violence. So if the NFL wanted to go back to Mexico City, they probably could relatively safely. Now, how safe would it be for the fans? That's could be another show. But once again, if anything happened to any Americans that went down there, they'd be fearful of the same response from the U.S. military command. So, but I mean, yeah, but that's why you don't go to Cozumel, Cancun, because they don't have the stadium. And Jason brings up a good point, because we sit there and think, oh, well, these other countries, they couldn't host a football game. It's like, do we think we're the only one with big stadiums? You know what I mean? It's like, but Sao Paulo, it just doesn't make sense for the location. You would think that Rio would be the better destination for the Packers to play the She-Eagles. It just, I don't know. Maybe there's less chance of them sneaking out to the beaches and impregnating Brazilian women down there. I don't know.
Muy bien.
Yeah. It's what a rough place to have to go play a game, Brazil. Oh, that's terrible. I don't know how they're going to do it. So, but shifting back to the Bears, though, we've got all five preseason games, Hard Knocks, plus we got a game in London, plus we've got a couple nationally televised Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, flex on Sunday Night Football games. People are going to get to see a lot of Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze this year.
Oh my God,
a lot. Yeah, more than they probably should. Yeah, Jason, exactly. They don't want U.S. Special Forces getting involved down there, but I get the NFL not wanting to do it. They'll run the risk. So I mean, good on them, but dude, I mean, the Bears are going to get a lot of exposure. I mean, I would have thought the Packers would get more exposure after last season, but nope.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that we both have the same exact amount of primetime games.
But no, we actually got more, though, because we have the entire preseason on live and Hard Knocks. So we got exponentially more exposure as a team. But like, look at
man, that's going to be rough if Caleb Williams falters, though. You're going to
be unprecedented access to either a guy being a complete bust or a complete success, right? I mean, so the payoff either way for the network is huge.
What if he isn't either and he's just average?
If he's, like I've said before, Woody's heard it on I've said on this show, I said on our morning show. If Caleb is 50% of the hype, they're a 10-win team, and he's good. If he's 50% of what they say, he's good. 3,500 yards. But if he's Ryan Leaf,
who's on the verge of starting type,
if he's Ryan Leaf, oh my God! But if but look, I don't need him to be Stroud, But if he's Stroud, great. He can be. I don't need him to be. I don't want him to be Matt Leinart either. But Matt Leinart's rookie year wasn't terrible. I don't want him to be Peyton Manning. His rookie year was horrendous. But
his rookie year, looking back on it, actually was not too bad, other than the win-loss ratio and his
interceptions.
His interception numbers weren't terrible; they were just inflated for Peyton Manning.
Well, how about Brett Favre's rookie year in Atlanta?
Oh, that was awesome because it got him to Green Bay.
What the fuck?
So yeah, we're gonna I mean, look, in the preseason, they're just gonna see a lot of Bagent, which I'm all for. I think the Bears are developing Bagent into a really, really strong backup that they could trade he could be like a Jimmy G, who the Bears will be able to parlay into some nice draft compensation down the road if they want to. I think. I mean, I think he could be a viable starter in this league, and the Bears are doing a pretty good job at bringing him along under the current regime. And I like to see that because it's starting to change the narrative, which we rightfully earned, that we couldn't bring in quarterbacks and grow quarterbacks. But under the current regime, we've seen a complete culture change. Yeah, right. I don't know, man. I think the new regime is more about quarterback building than the old Capone Bears days, where it's like, but you know what though, on defense though, Jason, you're not wrong. I mean, look, everyone we talk about the offense, but people forget this is a top 5 defense. Like no one talks about the Bears defense. The Bears talk like they say, look, we're a top 5 defense. The offense says we have to practice against a top 5 defense every day. They keep saying it for a reason because everyone's just so Caleb, Rome, Caleb. This defense is going to be nasty. So they're kind of what Jason wants at old school Chicago football. Just, beat your wee into the ground football. I mean, but, the emphasis on offense, because when was the last time we saw a Bears draft where they owned only 4 picks and they used the 4 picks they owned all on offense?
Well, I think this is the first draft. The first 15 picks, one offense.
Yeah. But for the Bears, Woody, when was the last time you got through 4 rounds and didn't have like 2 or 3 defensive players drafted?
Yeah. No, because we were built defense wins championships back then about 10, 12 years ago. So no, never.
I can't remember ever. Now look at this is probably they already have a really good defense. They didn't have to draft the defense. And they trade back into the 5th to get an edge rusher who, let's be real, isn't going to be the starter this year. He shouldn't be the starter this year, but he's going to be a very nice rotational piece. He'll give Montez a break. If they re-sign Ngakoue, he'll give Ngakoue a break. He'll be the guy who come in, spell him for a few plays and learn. And next year he'll replace Ngakoue. If we re-sign him, he'll be the full-time guy next season. Which then goes into the piece Woody brought up before the show before you got here. He found a report today that the Bears are actually more likely to re-sign Keenan Allen before the season even starts.
Well, no, not before the season.
This year.
You know how they said they're going to see how he works out, plays, and stuff like that. All they said is it's going to be sooner than later.
So, they're still building a little bit. The building's a playoff caliber team now. But, they didn't have to work on the defense much. I still think they signed Ngakoue. He's a good 1-year gap while the kid you drafted, who basically said, look, if you stayed another year, it'd be his first, second rounder to grow him. Because we do grow defensive line people well. But, yeah, it was all offense. It's getting the offense in sync with the defense. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree, Jason. But you know what, though? How many teams you find are complete on both sides of the ball? Look at when Baltimore won their championships. That was on Ray Lewis and the defense both times. Sure, Flacco won MVP.
I was going to say, that's taken a lot away from Flacco.
Dude, but Flacco didn't have to do much. The defense was the heart and soul of that team.
Flacco played.
I thought we're talking about the Trent Dilfer year because it was all Trent Dilfer.
Or the Brad Johnson year in Tampa, right? So I agree there, but Jason isn't wrong. I agree with a lot of what he says there. But the Bears in 06, phenomenal defense. That was a shitty offense, but that was Lovie Smith's best offense of his professional coaching career, ranked 15th in the NFL. And in that game, he it was Trent Dilfer. Yeah, Ben Johnson one was someone else. But so you can win a Super Bowl with just a really good defense. Hell, the 06 Bears won a couple games like Arizona where the offense didn't even score a touchdown. The defense scored them all. Or Devin Hester. That was
the years we came back against Cleveland in overtime, San Fran. Good old Mike Brown, baby.
But we have but no one talks about the Bears defense. It's all about the offense. And it's like, with the Vikings, people are like, oh, the Vikings will win 5 games. I'm like, dude, don't sleep on the Vikings. They got a good defense. They got some really good people on that defense. They're going to be good. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
Their defense will be slightly better than last year. So you'll be somewhere
top 15.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere in the 15.
Which is about 10 spots better than Green Bay was.
Yeah. Oh, was. Okay.
It probably will be, honestly, through transition. Jason says, though, and he's not wrong on this either, because, we saw this last year for the Bears, especially in the first half. A bad offense can truly kill a great defense, right? Because they're on the field so much.
Yep.
They're on the field so much. So that's why, the defense last year for the Packers, while they sucked statistically, right, 25, they didn't look so bad because Jordan Love kept them off the field a lot. So the inverse is true. A good offense can hide a really bad defense.
Total defense was terrible, but that's because the run game defense was so freaking abysmal. Our pass defense was actually 11th in the league.
So Woody, they were you guys were in a 4-3 last year, right?
3-4.
They were in a 3-4. They're switching to a 4-3 thing. Some of their fans think they'll be a top 10 defense this year.
Yeah, I'll see how. Let me know how you are in 2-3 years. Defense.
Yeah, 10 years ago that argument would have been great, and I would.
Hey,
hold on.
I always win arguments. Don't worry.
Oh no. So don't I. Because most teams now play mostly nickel for a large portion of the game, and you're not getting too many variations with the nickel.
So Ken, what you're saying is that your defense is still going to suck because you're not changing anything.
No, I'm saying we got an actual real guy running it. You saw what happened when LaFleur took over at the end of the year. Joe Barry shouldn't be allowed to coach.
Well, you guys are going to suffer when you're in your base. You're going to suffer for about a year. That's the trend, and look at it's every team that's done what you guys are doing. Yep. It's not a homer trash talk thing. It's just every team. It's a season to a season plus for that transition to take hold. Now, I granted when they're in the nickel. Yeah, for part of that mitigates it, but you're still in you're still in your front base. The back end's in the nickel, but the front's in the base. So
I was say our nickel last year we ran with 4 down linemen. So
how much of the year did you do that?
A lot. We played that nickel.
So Woody, they're still going to suck.
So really, Green Bay won't be transitioning this year. They're already there.
For the majority, you're going to be in the nickel shit. But once it's your first, second down against the run, yes, that's when the transition will be apparent.
It's gonna be. I know it's gonna be fun.
I love it.
I know.
I cannot wait for this season.
I fucking love it.
So we're about 2 months out from camp, or a month out from camp. Dude, you're gonna skip a beat. Trust me, you're not gonna. You are skipping a beat. It's gonna take a while to. Once again, rebuilding your team versus completely swapping your defense out, 2 different things. Last year, you're in a rebuild year. This year, you're swapping your defense out. It will take a transition. It's not to say, look, you will see some immediate good impacts. Like on the run, you should see a little immediate impact. But on the overall defense, you're not going to be a top 20. You might, if you get to 21, 22, that's really good. If you get to 15, dude, that just means you hit the lotto.
No. I'm saying 15 for the average of what it's going to be. 10 if everything goes fucking perfect, and then
if everything goes perfect, you're at 15. If everything goes perfect,
we're 10.
Oh my god!
With the amount of talent that is on that defense.
Is this fucking John Dorn in here or what?
Just
hold
wait
on.
and see.
Hey, calm down, Rick.
Hold on, we're getting.
Hey! Don't you ever swear at me like that.
Hey, wait a minute! I'm getting a call from fan bases across the NFL, and they have a message for Packer fans.
That's what we're hoping for. That way
he says right out the gate, no transition time necessary.
Wow.
God, I love Packer fans.
I hope so, Jason. I really do.
Oh man, just hope your dreams don't get crushed. You guys are aiming too high. Me, I'm always down below.
Yeah.
So I mean, go up.
They just they're immune to what every other team in the NFL is. Like every other team in the NFL that's ever made a transition, it takes at least a season, except for Green Bay. No, not you, Ken, but Jason.
Of what he is, he's going to be a playoff guy. When most rookie quarterbacks, besides a very select few, struggle massively
and that's fine, but they're not making the playoffs because he's better than 50% or because he's between the defense and the rest of the players on that team. They're good for almost 10 wins. If he's decent with some rookie quarterback struggles, which we know he's going to have, they're going to win 10 games. Look, it's not like Stroud had like this mind-blowing experience last year. He played on a really good team. He had a really good defense. They had some offensive weapons.
His mind too.
But Caleb doesn't have to play out of his mind to get 10 wins this year. Now look if he throws a million pick sixes, then obviously that's not going to happen. But if he has an average rookie year, keeps his like if he had Justin Fields rookie year, he wins 10 games because of the team that he's on.
No.
Most teams that have a rookie starting quarterback don't have a top 5 defense, don't have 3-1-1s in the wideout position, don't have a stacked running back room that's a top 5 running back room in the league, don't have 2 very quarterback-friendly, highly productive tight ends. They don't get that. These guys get teams that have Adam Thielen and nobody else.
So if
situationally, it's
if
different.
He doesn't make it to the playoffs, does that count extra against Caleb because he has all these pieces?
Yes. This guy is walking into a rookie quarterback's wet freaking dream. You are walking to a team. You're walking to a team that's ready to go to the playoffs. That's built to win today. I mean, what other rookie quarterback comes into a team that has 2 proven 1,000+ yard receivers, plus drafts arguably either 1A or 1B wide receiver from the draft that year? How often does that happen?
I would say he was 1C.
A lot of people say he's 1A. It was between him and Marvin Harrison. Neighbors was never in that discussion.
I heard a lot of people say Neighbors was the absolute best out of them.
Yes, if they were a Giants fan and you live in New York.
This was well before the Giants even.
Neighbors had better numbers. They're saying.
Well, Neighbors was better than both of them were better than Marvin Harrison Jr. at certain things. But you're still, I mean, the point being is you drafted a premier wide receiver in the draft, have 2 proven 1,000 yard a year guys. You've got a running back room that was last year was like in the top 5 or 6 in the room that arguably got better by adding DeAndre Swift and taking out whatever his name was. You got a tight end who came off a career year who's a legit top 10 tight end. Your second tight end, everywhere he's gone has been nothing but a quarterback's best friend safety gap, right? So I mean, what rookie quarterback walks into that? What rookie quarterback? No one. It doesn't happen. The closest you had to that was Patrick Mahomes when he first took over the starting gig and had an all-star freaking team around him his first year as a starter. You don't see rookies. Rookies, when they start by nature, usually are on teams devoid of talent.
Yeah, I will give you that part of it.
So he's walking. You know who else is walking to a wet dream? J.J. McCarthy. That wide receiver room, arguably
top.
But
you got to be able to actually throw the ball to the guy.
but the thing is, like, dude, JJ's gonna. You just put in his area, JJ's gonna catch it, right? I mean, it's Jason. Jason, you're right and you're wrong. The hole was at center, and they went and took everyone who snapped the ball in Chicago last year is no longer in Chicago, and we got 3 new guys. So on paper, they addressed it. We'll see how the application works. Because if you look at the PFF, if you look,
talking about theirs right there.
No, I think it's talking about ours. Our offensive line's full of hole. It was a center position. Was it? It was all green across the board by PFF except the center, which was deeper red than my district in Florida. And I live in Matt Gates's district, so I live in a pretty red district.
Well,
they were terrible.
These Packers fans know more than I about the Bears, so I'm pretty impressed.
I know.
Fuck.
So I mean, but JJ too. JJ is walking into a great situation because they've got they've got a solid running back, they got very good wide receivers, they got a very good tight end. They have a suspect offensive line, more suspect than I'd say Chicago's right now. He's got a very, very good defense. So JJ's actually also walking into a good situation. Now, look, he's not going to start. Sam Darnold is. If Sam Darnold can just be a game manager, they're going to be a good team.
And I was going to say, for Sam Darnold, that's going to be like him hitting the lottery.
Wait. Okay, Jason, it is an address. So the Packers are a 25th ranked defense. Thank you for making my argument for me about how bad your defense is. You haven't addressed jack nor shit. You have the 25th ranked defense in the league. So your top 10 defense, shut the fuck up, sit down, have a nice day, get a grab
I
a
was
Coke
going
and a
to say
smile.
your top 5 defense looked great against us the last game.
Oh, one game. Ooh.
One game. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
That's the whole season, Woody.
Hey, like
Those Packer fans showed us.
I really did for that game.
Like I hear about Caleb Williams too, and I said, hey, his rival is Notre Dame, and look what he did last year. Three interceptions in the first half. Everybody said it's just one game. It's just one game. Don't worry about it. Okay, welcome to the NFL. You're fucked.
Hey, Jason, I'm just playing with you. I like you, but yes, your defense is trash. It was ranked 25th in a league of 32. That is the very definition of a trash defense by ranking. Sorry, truth hurts. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call. Peyton Manning has something he'd like to say.
Packers suck.
Sorry. But look at that means you get to say my offensive line sucks. And I agree with you. Ranked 27th in pass protection last year. Ranked 10th in rushing. 27th in pass protect. So, yeah, you say they haven't addressed it. Okay, we'll see when the season starts if they have. But look, for sake of argument, because changes have been made and we can't live on what happened last year or what like Packer fans like to do 30 years ago. We can say they've addressed
about that when most Bears fans keep bringing up 85.
No, but you guys bring it up more than we do.
Yeah,
you guys bring it up more than we do, Ken. Honestly, you do.
I don't.
You don't bring it up.
You go into the huddle in groups like that, you're constantly hearing.
My name's not Paul Merkel.
Oh God! Of course he'll say
he doesn't count.
Oh,
so I mean, look at Jason. I'm poking fun with you, but look at we can say they've addressed it. You know why we can say that? Because everyone that was in that position has been jettisoned and new people. So we could say, let's meet halfway. They've addressed it. Whether or not the fix-it plan works or not is yet to be determined. How's that? That's probably the better way to put it. They've addressed it on paper, but like everything else, as Rob would say, on paper it looks good. You got to prove it now. So on paper, they've addressed that need for the center position. They've addressed the need at safety.
I agree with Jason here. Definitely. And Jason, like I said about dressing, the Bears didn't address the quarterback position either. Sorry.
I don't have Woody's disposition on the quarterback position. Nope. I agreed with Woody that we should have kept Fields. Yep. But then when they make the trade, Ryan Poles, I can't really point to something where I say, yeah, I can't trust Ryan Poles. So for me to accept this trade, I have to think that Poles believes that Caleb is not only better right now than Justin Fields, but also has a higher ceiling.
Holy Jesus.
Otherwise, how do you justify it?
Oh my God.
That he fell in love with Caleb?
Yeah, but I mean, but look at the qualities of players he's selected in the draft already in his tenure. I mean, he hasn't given you a reason to say he makes poor choices in who he drafts. He makes overwhelmingly good choices. And yeah, even if he fell in love with Caleb, right, he still has to believe that Caleb is better than Justin now. Right? Now, Woody thinks another quarterback would have been a better pick. And I don't know. The writing we'll see as the season goes on. But given it's like if Goody says, you know what, Clifford starting, Love, see, bye-bye. I know, but Ken, you would be like, well, look has Clifford given me reason to doubt his choices in player personnel when it comes to this position?
If Goody came out and said that, I would want him drug tested immediately and taken to the psychiatric ward.
He's gonna fail his drug test because he's from Penn State. So
yeah. I mean, he hasn't given me reason to doubt him. So until he does, I don't. You got to give him. I give him the benefit of the doubt. So that's how I have to rationalize.
Jerry Jones used to draft extremely well back in the day, and then he just took a freaking nosedive for a long while.
But until they give you reason to not trust their choice, you trust their choice, right? And so has Poles given me a reason not to trust his process and his choices? And Jason, I don't totally 100% buy into that either, because when he chose to trade the number 1 overall pick and keep Justin, he kind of said, Justin's my guy.
Or he said, I don't really like either of these two guys coming out, and I'm just going to roll with Fields because I know he's going to.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's in a situation, though, where he kind of married himself to Justin for at least a period of time, right? And then maybe Justin, and look, if the Bears would have had the number 3 pick, I don't think we draft a quarterback this draft. Justin's still a Bear. I think the choice, the fact that we had the number 1 and that Caleb is supposedly so much better than the rest of these quarterbacks in this year's draft and in years past, drove the train, and that he had Washington for 2 years through the Heisman year and last year. There's a lot that comes in there, but I mean, I don't totally buy the not his guy argument because, dude, there are a lot of coaches that inherit quarterbacks that aren't their guy, and those quarterbacks stay there longer than the coach does. Jay Cutler is a good example of that. He was never anyone's guy, but he outlived many coaches in 2 cities he was in. So
he only played for Denver for what, 2 years?
2 years. And then the team wrecker came as the head coach, because I call him that because he's now coached two teams in the same division and ruined both of them, Denver and the Raiders.
I was going to say, well, I was going to say, you know, he did do pretty decent for Denver for a while, but that's when you're recording the other team's defense and you already know what's going to happen. So
I mean, but you know, and Cutler had what, 2 head coaches, 3 in Chicago. So I mean, I don't necessarily buy into their guy. If it's a good quarterback, they're their guy. They don't care. And it's not that it's not even that Fields is a terrible quarterback. Statistically, he keeps improving. He does what you want a young player to do. Continues to grow.
Yeah, but it was at such a slow pace.
But dude, how many rookie quarterbacks continue to grow? Most regress or plateau. He continues to grow. That's a rare thing in this league that you're discounting. He continues to grow. That's rare. That doesn't happen. That happens 1 out of every 50 quarterbacks that come in like that.
Yeah, but if a guy's taking 2 steps forward and 1 back, isn't that better? Hold on. Isn't that better than taking
always going forward?
Than taking 3/4 steps?
I mean, no, I don't think Justin was taking 3/4 steps. You saw big like last year. You saw big improvements in his game, especially in the second half, in decision-making progress, in reading, in the throws he was making, his accuracy, when to run, when not to run. I thought the numbers don't necessarily bear out the numbers do bear out some of the growth, but not the totality of the growth. So that's why, but just because he didn't draft him, yeah, it's the same comment we had. No, it's just a different take on it. I mean, if he would have kept Fields, no one in Chicago would have said anything bad about Ryan Poles. He didn't get rid of him because he wasn't his guy. He got rid of him because right now he believes that Caleb Williams is A, already better, and or B, that is a higher ceiling. Now Woody, like Jaden Daniels better.
Yep.
Right? And I can respect that. And we'll find out what happens. But that, even if Poles had taken Jaden Daniels, it would have been the same argument. He would have had to believe that Jaden Daniels is A, already better than Justin Fields is today, and or, because it can be both or just the second piece, he has a higher potential ceiling than Fields. Not because he's not his guy. But
I think Fields would have did great with this. He would have had a wet dream with this team as well.
He would have gone over 4,000 with this team.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he never even hit 3,000.
See, no, but Jason brings this up, and I'm like, okay, and who do you have to throw to? What do you have for an offensive line? What was the rest of the team like? It was absolute trash on offense. It was. I mean, that's no lie. I mean, Justin was basically said, hey, be the quarterback, make something happen, win us a bunch of games, and oh, by the way, for your first couple years, we're not going to give you a number 1. We're going to give you a very porous offensive line. We're going to give you an OC who we think will be okay because he was a quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers, but he's really untested as an OC, and go. And then, okay, well, you've gotten better every year. So you know what? We're going to go get, we got DJ Moore. You took a big step. DJ Moore, in fact, had a career year last year. So did Cole Kmet, a guy that, by the way, Poles did not draft and Ryan Pace did. And he gave a big extension to. So you know what?
Your tight end's different than your quarterback.
Hold on. So wait. So what was last year? He puts up better numbers statistically speaking across the board. Your two best offensive weapons have career years. So they go out and they load the team up and they say, "See ya." Fields would have put up 4,000 yards this year.
I was going to say that makes you wonder if they believed it all in Justin Fields like you do. Putting this team, building this team and putting it around him, you'd think they'd say, hey, we've already seen what you can do. We know what you can, and you're going to be real good. Now that we've got this team around you, this is going to be
but see, that's what goes, and then you're kind of saying what Jason's saying, right? But once again, I get it, Jason. You're a Packer fan. Your short-term memory is about a nanosecond because you forgot what I said 5 minutes ago. Whether it had been Jaden Daniels or in this case it happened to be Caleb Williams, Ryan Poles has to think either A, that Caleb is better than Fields is right now, and or B, he has higher potential. Right? So that
he's high on something.
He's high on something. But I mean, so, once again, Jason, go back to that previous argument. That's why. So, I mean, but Justin, if yeah, well, I mean,
there you go, Rob. On paper, he's better.
But look at that. But you have to trust in what your GM is doing here because he hasn't given you reason not to, right? So that's why, if we had the number 3 pick or the number 4 pick and not the number 1, Fields is QB1 in Chicago still. And we probably have Joe Alt and Roma Dunze instead.
I was going to say you assume he would be.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't going to take Drake May. I think there are only 2 options that he would have considered. One is Woody's guy, and the other is Caleb. None of those other quarterbacks are going to be better than Justin Fields.
Oh, come on. He would have went for Bo Nix.
Yeah, hey, that would have been my wet dream.
But no, if the Bears were at 4 or 5, once we were at 4 and 9, we would have gone for something like Joe Alt at 4, or actually no, we've gone Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4 probably, and then we either would have traded out at 9, or actually no, we would have gotten Dallas Turner at 9.
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ, we got the smartest offensive fucking lineman in the league. All right. The guy from Yale, there you go.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They might have gone because then you don't have to worry because you already had Montez. So at 9, then you could go with Dallas Turner. Now your edge is secure, right? You don't have to trade back into the 5th round. And you've drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4 or 5. If they're at 5, they were still going to grab Rome over Neighbors. So they would have gotten Rome at 5. Let's say they had 5 and 9. It would have been Rome and Turner. And that's what they would have done. And they would have drafted quarterbacks. I think there's only 2 options that Poles would have considered. And that would have been Jaden Daniels or Caleb.
Oh my God, Jade Dale. If we had, oh man, I would have had a wet dream too again. Yeah, I would have had 2 wet dreams on draft night. Definitely.
See, once again, Jason, you still don't get it. You're Packers fans. I get it. You're slow. If Fields would have been in this offense, he surely could have hit 4,000 yards. I would have bet money on that.
And Foles didn't believe in Fields.
So no, because he felt that Caleb is better than Fields right now. That's what he must feel in order to make that change. You built the team. You built the.
You didn't think that Fields was going to be able to put up those kind of numbers.
No, he just thinks that Caleb is better and or has a higher ceiling. That's all. That's all he's saying. I mean, look at Caleb could go into Pittsburgh, and we could. You know, it'd be funny if 2 years from now in the Super Bowl, it's Caleb versus Justin in the Super Bowl. That could happen.
And then Justin Fields ends up smoking you.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be poetic justice for Justin? I mean, so it's but that's why he did it. So I have to have faith in him and the rationale as to why. I mean, Justin has been showing through the improvement that he is a very competent, good NFL quarterback. But maybe that's just it. Maybe his ceiling is a very good, competent NFL quarterback, but not a top 5 quarterback. And maybe Poles feels that Caleb could be a top 5 quarterback or has a higher potential to be that.
Hey there, Ken. How long do you run the show on Wednesday nights?
Oh shit.
Well, on the Packer fans' last bad take, we're out of here, guys. We'll see you at Ken and Ken in the morning. Don't forget Monday morning at Ken and Ken in the morning. Desmond Clark will be on the show Monday morning on Ken and Ken. See y'all later. And remember,
Packers suck.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Around the Indoor Football World, Shield TV, and The Big Football Show. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, Bodkin Show, and Spirit of Detroit Podcast. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Wrestling Roundup, Skull Gang 365, First and 10 with Foz, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballin' Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, 313 Den Podcast, Puckett, The Guys Huddle, Main Event Football Show, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and Off the Rails. Hope you enjoy all the shows and feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe.